It's a very subjective question. From person to person, it depends. Based on the capacity that you are working in that company and for your role, depends on the role also. It changes. But I would say, given the current economic context in Sri Lanka and all the things taking place, one main thing any employee or team member would look at is the stability of the organizations. And it's not just the stability, whether the company has a vision to grow and whether they are expanding or whether they are doing the same thing over and over, or what kind of a vision that the company has for the growth. And the second thing I see is that every team member wants to know whether there's a career progression for them. So whether they are going to stuck in one place or is it just going to be new opportunities coming into them every time, and whether the company is investing enough for the employee to learn and grow. So that is something, that's another area that any employee or any team member will look for. And I strongly believe that any employee or any team member that they will look for great work-life balance. Because supply chain is industry, it's a very dynamic industry that you have to work, late hours and 24/7 operations. With all that, but still, if the company is respecting your time and giving you that work-life balance and creating a culture and an environment within the company that you will not even feel that you are away from your family, right? That kind of a environment, a culture, any employee would love to be in. So even in the current place that I am, in the organization, in the Mac Holdings also the same thing. So they are creating that kind of a culture, creating that work-life balance while allowing them to perform at their best. I believe that retaining talent forever is not something that we need to do, because that in every organization needs fresh talent time to time with the changing environment. But having said that, I am not saying that we need to get rid of the people. We need to take care of the people. We need to take care of the team members. If they really, when we have good talent, we always have to make sure that all these resources to stick around the company. So there are three main things that I follow for my team members. That it's very simple. That's opportunity, empowerment, and recognition. That is the three things that I actually always look for in my team members, that I want to give them opportunity rather than they just do the same thing day by day over and over, that it will make them, it's become a routine for them. There's nothing interesting for them. There's no point just giving them only the opportunity. You have to empower them and you have to trust them. You have to give them the freedom to perform. Otherwise, that if you're going to micromanage everything after giving the opportunity, that's also not going to work. Because not every employee look for benefits and the remuneration. That there are so many employees, especially the younger generation, who look for opportunities to perform, to show what they can do. So we have to respect that, and we should allow them to do that. And while they do that, and when they achieve it, we have to make sure that we recognize them. So opportunity, empowerment, recognition is my three words, that the three things that I always use to retain talent in my team. Getting into the supply chain management as an industry to work in is a defining moment in my career actually, because I came into the industry it's not by my choice, right? I just came in as a trainee in one of the largest logistic conglomerates in the country, and I got the opportunity to work in various areas in operational supply chain, in the container leasing, refrigerated containers, and it's all operational work I got the chance to work in, and I developed that career up to a level where I came into the 3PL, 4PL, solution designing in logistics, sort of. But if I tell you the most defining moment in my career after I completed a whole journey of almost 12 years in the supply chain and logistics, I wanted to take a turn in where I started and move from operational supply chain to technology. So I took a new challenge back in 2014 from changing my path, looking at the digital the transformation in logistics, and I joined the largest the cloud supply chain platform company in the world to look after the solution work in 3 different countries. I went in there with no knowledge in what is technology. I didn't even know the terms, but the company looked at me and they wanted a logistic professional to come in to come for that role. And I learned, and I saw a whole new world out there, other than all the other things I did in my past. It opened up a completely new window in my the supply chain journey, where I got the opportunity to meet with the largest companies in the region, working with all the foreign nationals who are very thorough in technology and digital transformation, robotics, automation, cloud supply chain management, Internet of Things, you name it, all the technological things. So that made me a tech enthusiast. And when I every time I said I'm supply chain and logistics professional, from there now I'm saying supply chain logistics plus digital transformation in logistics. So that was a defining moment and actually a turning point in my career. While we bringing the digital presence into the supply chain and changing the operating model, and one other area that we need to focus is bringing in the resilience into the supply chain. We have to have some focus and strategies built in to bounce back fast as soon as possible when the changes are taking place. It's either economic crisis, it could be a pandemic, it could be a disaster, anything. If the supply chains are strong enough to survive and bounce back, so the entire country is going to perform, and entire country is able to run their supply chains. I already mentioned that I came into the field of supply chain not by choice. So during the time I started my career, there were no academic platforms or universities offering supply chain courses or degrees. So no education of supply chain at all back in 10-15 years back. So we learnt everything with experience, and we looked at things practically. That's how we learned it. But now it is not the case. You have a lot of platforms available. A lot of universities are there in Sri Lanka for you to get the basic understanding of the supply chain. So if any student or any newcomer coming into the industry of supply chain, first thing I have to say is it's an amazing industry to be in. That even though I came not by choice, I really enjoy, and I'm proud that I came into this industry, because that I was able to unleash the entire potential of the knowledge and whatever I could do into this industry, and to reach great heights. So another advice I would like to give to all the who's aspiring to come into the industry is that learn the basics in supply chain. And because supply chain is an industry evolving day by day. So I put it as like one of the fastest growing industries in the world, parallel to any other growing industries like the technology or the e-commerce and all that. So if you are coming into supply chain, you should be able to embrace change. That every time the changes are taking place, what we do today is not what we are going to do next month and the other months. It's changing. The new things are coming in. So you need to know your basics to adapt to these changes, and also that you should embrace these changes, and you should have that passion to learn new things in the supply chain. That's the advice I have to give to all the new the people coming into the industry.